Well, hello and good afternoon to everyone. I think most of us, we may have some of our West Coast people that haven't quite moved into the afternoon yet, but wanted to let you know that we are here. This is Jill Ellis with iResponds, and I've got Rose Mentry on the phone, and we are just watching the registration. We have quite a full house today, and there are a few more people logging in, so we're going to wait a couple of seconds. We're about 30 seconds ahead of our start time, but we are here and we will get started on time, but we'll be on mute just for a few more seconds here. Thanks. Okay, well, hello again. And for those of you that have just joined, this is Jill Ellis with iResponds. We are right at our start time, and I know there are people still trying to get logged in, but we want to be respectful. We've got a lot of information to cover, so we're going to move ahead. Today, we're going to be talking about OTA's role in the hotel recovery. If Rose, you'll move us forward to the next slide. And speaking of Rose, on the phone today, I have Rose Mentry, who is our Chief Innovation Officer, really the brainchild behind a lot of this information that you're going to see today. You know, one of her passions in this industry, having 40 plus years working from operations side all the way up to running this company, is really researching and understanding what the trends are, what are the things impacting us. Obviously, this year has had a lot of new curveballs thrown at us, so there's some new information to look at. She's really summarized that, and we'll be going deep into that information. I have introduced myself. I'm Jill Ellis with iResponds. I have the pleasure of leading the client success team, and I have been in this industry for 25 plus years. And if we take a quick look at our agenda and how we'll spend our time together today, we will do a few slides, just introduction to iResponds, since we're kind of working in a virtual environment here, so you understand our background. We're going to take a look at current hotel bookings, so trends in the US. We're going to look at OTAs and their role in hotel bookings since COVID-19, and the ways reviews can affect your revenue. That's still a big factor these days. OTAs and travel channels in the news. And we always like to close up with kind of some key takeaways, because again, we'll cover a lot of information. I have Q&A listed here at the end, but I do want to encourage you, there's a control panel that should be just to your right, where you can type in the section for questions. If there's any comments, anything you want to add, any questions that you have anytime throughout this presentation, if you'll just put that in there. We'll wait to the end, just again to respect everyone's time, and go through those. If we run out of time and you need to exit, we'll make that information available after the call. So a little bit about who we are. We are a service provider in the hotel industry. We're created by hoteliers for hoteliers. The big takeaway about who we are is that we really have a heart to serve this industry, and everything that we do is driven by that. And in fact, our services really fall into three main categories and how we support our clients. First is we monitor and respond to guest reviews and surveys on behalf of our clients. So we work very closely with them. We have an entire team that, just like someone at your hotel, they're sitting down, they're reading the reviews. They're very familiar with the property because they're assigned to this, and they're going to respond to it in the way that you would respond. Plus, we also understand brand voice, and we're working within those deadlines with 24 to 48 hours. We also have many clients that we're doing social media proactive marketing. So content calendars, posting that content, engaging with those comments. And one of the kind of up and coming spaces that has really accelerated during this COVID time period is the direct messages that are coming in through specifically Facebook and Instagram. Some of the third-party booking sites have those as well. But same thing, a guest or a future guest may be more likely to just type in a DM versus picking up the phone and calling. So those are really timely information and responding to that. So just a little overview about what we do. And of course, we work with a wide variety of all the major brands and independent hotels. We have a little over 1,000 clients now. And we also have several restaurants that we support in the full service arena. So next, I'm going to bring Rose into the conversation. She's kind of navigating our presentation for us here. And Rose is going to take a look at the current hotel booking trends in the U.S.
Thank you, Jill, and thank you everyone for joining our webinar this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you're located. So as Jill stated, we will start off with a review of current hotel booking trends in the US because we want to understand what has been going on. So earlier this year, we saw that OTAs were laying off associates just as much as hotels and airlines did, and due to COVID-19 and travel came to a halt. So as restrictions overall eased off, travel was back on the table with the summer season upon us, and we saw the growth going on in the summer months. So this graph here depicts what sources were providing the hotel bookings in comparison to 2019, and it's of October 2020. And this actually, first one is a global outlook. The next one will dive into the US market. So stay safe became the most important factor for choosing a hotel, with hotel websites communicating the most up-to-date content, leading to a slight, as you could see, 1% growth year over year. Hotel direct sales also increased by 1% as well year over year. And GDS, as you've seen it as well at your hotels, dropped actually by 8%, mainly due to corporate travel at a standstill, although it's expected to return to previous levels by Q2 in 2021. And OTAs, as you could see, currently are the biggest winners. So they gained a 7% year over year, which is amazing to note. So next, let's take a look at REVPAR, year-over-year performance by channels, and this is strictly in the United States. So Calibri Labs has been a great source, reporting out monthly REVPAR variances, and property direct bookings, as you could see, have led 2020 recovery with the guest paid REVPAR year over year. So these negatives and positives are basically year-over-year changes by month. And then in addition, all channels appear to be performing consistently with prior months. As we enter Q4, direct channels continue to lead overall production, leading to a higher COPE percentage due to the lower cost of acquisition, as we had covered several months back because of what's been going on with the breakfast, with housekeeping, and so on. So there is a savings there as well that's happening for each hotel. Lead booking time, it does remain under 2 weeks, which we will dive into a little bit deeper in the next slides. And it's actually declined 48% from 2019 for the month of October. And we still have 1,639 hotels closed in the US as of this October. Therefore, when you're looking at your year-over-year REVPAR performance, you need to keep that in mind, that your mix of supply might have changed due to these closures in your area. In October, we ended up at $41.44 REVPAR, which is still a deficit of 56.82% year over year, of which 27.28% of the deficits came from property direct bookings. So switching over to the booking window trends, Amadeus shared this information by source and by segment. So this chart of year-to-date 2020 booking window by source shows that OTA bookings have the highest impact for occupancy, 14 days out of the guest arrival specifically. Direct bookings leads the way at the 90-day out booking window. Hotels can utilize OTAs for value-added effort offers because you could see 14 days out from your date if you have holes to fill, which holes to fill, and you could actually do specials with them and really provide 7 days before the guest arrival, fill your need periods with higher occupancy. While looking cumulatively at these numbers though, the most significant amount of room nights sold came from hotel direct bookings. And Amadeus also reported that the 0 to 7 day booking lead time was has almost reached last year's average daily occupancy pickup. And they stated that this was a positive trend, which indicates that booking patterns are slowly returning to normal in the US. So now let's look at booking trends by segment. So when you look at the discounted segment, It is the strongest in all booking windows, no matter whether they're booking 90 days out to arrival or 7 days out to arrival. And consider this when making decisions on discount percentage by segment, as it will, in the discount segment, I should say, as it will have the highest impact on your ADR overall. The other surprising thing for me was that the wholesaler's cutoff seems very short, within 7 days prior, because we usually have minimum 21 days, if not 30 days to arrival dates, which can also really impact your month and forecast greatly, and you're not able to make the right decisions in revenue management. With the booking windows getting shorter, seems hotels are doubling their occupancy within the 30 days, which is huge window, which makes revenue, again, management a challenge for 2021. Focusrite did a research to see if there will be any negative impact from the leisure travel segment due to their decrease in budgets in the fourth quarter and beyond. Even though there will be more prudent with their funds, the good news is that they will still travel, but with more caution in their spendings. So here's where we will see these affecting. With their budgets decreased, travelers initially target the low-hanging fruit, which is cutting a trip length. And also, second one is selecting cheaper destinations. So in destination purchases are targeted next after that, followed by dining and shopping budgets. So value-added offers, even at your hotel, food and beverage outlets, might be a great thing for you to be able to capture the audience and keep them at your hotel level for dining. And it will definitely bring you or give you opportunity to bring more funds to the bottom line. So we're going to switch up a little bit. So let's look at OTA's role in hotel bookings since COVID-19. After the pandemic began, OTAs have re-evolved. They had to, and we wanted to share this latest statistic with you. So the Expedia Group's latest trend and insight study, these are the things that we have found. 57% of travelers are more likely to book via an OTA than before the pandemic. And this is most pronounced among millennials and Gen X's. These two groups with the highest overall intent to travel is really going to rule this even more as we get into 2023, 2024, and so on. In addition, the tides have changed once again, as 69% of the people are looking for the best nightly rate. And this supports actually what we just saw from Focusrite study that we covered a slide ago. And 56% of domestic travelers that use an OTA in their research and planning phase are likely to also book via an OTA. And 61% of travelers use OTAs to plan or research at least one aspect of their trip, from hotels to flights to car rentals to activities and more. So OTAs also play a critical role, obviously, in overall hotel purchase path, as 35% of them want to be able to compare properties in one place, which they feel they cannot do right now at the hotel sites. So looking at the OTA's performance in Q3, TripAdvisor just reported that they now see the signs of recovery for themselves. Monthly unique users on TripAdvisor site compared to last year inched up each month of the third quarter from 67% of 2019 figure in July to 74% in September. So they are now down by 26% in unique users in comparison to last year's same time, which has rebounded quicker than they first thought. Revenue showed a similar trajectory, as you could see, with July consolidated revenue approximately 30% of last year's in comparison to period same time, August and September. Revenue approximately 40% of last year's numbers. So again, that's a lot bigger than they had expected. And they also reported that this growth in revenue with increased cost control since April, remember they did let go quite a few people from TripAdvisor, and so did Expedia and everybody else, is bringing them successful results, which will be their long-term strategy moving forward in 2021. So I'm going to turn it back over to Jill to cover what can be done on OTA channels, since they're so important for us to be successful in this recovery phase. Jill?
Excellent. Thanks so much, Rose. And I did want to take a quick welcome to those that joined a little bit later after we started, and remind those on the phone that there is a place, if you have questions or comments, please type that in and we're going to cover that on the end. So there is no denying that COVID-19 has redefined traveler behavior. The upside of this is this also presents an opportunity for all of us in the industry to re-examine our own behaviors and reset our strategies and appeal to those travelers. So it's just a matter of understanding and pivoting. And again, a lot of the information that Rose has been sharing is pointing to some new ideas and concepts that need to be taken into consideration. And obviously each of your markets are unique. So to help the industry understand emerging leisure and business travel trends in the next normal, as we're calling it, Expedia Group finished their study and they have shared the new influences shaping travel decisions. So embracing these new behaviors will help hoteliers to shift strategies to meet evolving traveler needs and support hotels as they re-image travel policies. So there are things that we'll highlight here. I won't go into all the detail that's on the slide, but obviously room cleanliness and overall condition of the hotel matter. Talking about that, sharing that, making sure that information is lived out and talked about is extremely important. Reputation and hotel communications. So that really falls down to how are you responding to your guest? What are you doing to interact with them? And again, it's not only the person you're responding to, but it's the person that might be reading your reviews and wanting to understand what's happening at your property. Transport guests with great photos. So again, we've had several webinars leading up to this that can be found on our website that talk about a lot of different things that you can do on social media to really talk about your story right now, and just be communicative. Just keep communicating what is happening, what amenities are there, and anything that you have going on. And then stand out from the rest. This is a strategy that's always in place, but now more than ever, it's really paying attention to what's happening. So again, just some great key takeaways from that. And next, we want to dive a little bit deeper into kind of sample responses that have been noticed. So again, kind of talking about that communication piece and your online reviews. So as for responding to OTA reviews, so this would be every place where your hotel could be reviewed in a respondable review, like TripAdvisor, Booking, Expedia. The basics are still the same, from keeping it simple to using proper grammar to spelling it correctly. What has changed, however, is that the travelers will pay more attention to stay at a hotel with better ratings than a hotel with a better brand name. In other words, your response to both your positive and your negative reviews will make lasting impressions on perspective, we'll get that word out today, yes, that influence their booking decisions. So I've put two examples up here. I'm going to think this is probably going to be a little bit difficult to read, but it's just in both of these scenarios, it's the GM began by thanking the reviewers for the business. We do this for our clients we're helping. It's like always starting out with that voice of hospitality. Next, he restated the primary feedback given to demonstrate the review was both appreciated and understood. In response to constructive feedback, which could be seen as negative feedback in some cases, the GM offered an apology. Again, how many times we see that someone's not just willing to apologize, that's what's being looked for because hiccups are going to happen. And before summarizing how the hotel planned to fix the situation, finally he concluded with a soft promise to do better. And that's, we hope you will give us a chance to redeem ourselves the next time you are in our area. So again, just some examples of keeping that communication real and respectful and acknowledging the feedback that you're receiving. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into that since we're on the subject of reviews. So this is kind of ways that reviews can actually affect your revenue. So I'm going to invite Rose back to kind of start diving back into that data behind the facts.
Thank you. So we wanted to look at and see how responding versus not responding, recent versus older reviews, and hotels' online ratings, how it's affected. And Review Tracker came out with a great study with actually looking at thousands of reviews to make sure that they are coming up with a great picture as to what happens in these scenarios. So first, let's review the chart on the top left, impact of responding versus not responding. So this chart shows us that hotels responding to 0% of their guest review earn 10% less in revenue. And study also showed that hotels responding to more than 25% of their guest reviews earn actually 180,000 more each year, and that's an average than their competitors. So next, they looked at the impact of recent reviews versus older reviews that you see in the bottom left chart, and it shows that hotels with more recent reviews increased revenue by 30%. In addition, hotels that did not have more current reviews lost 20% in revenue. So in short, newer versus older reviews can skew the bottom line by 50% that the OTAs are giving you. And as you remember in the previous charts, we saw that we really truly depend on OTAs and will continue to do so because of the growth of bookings on OTAs after COVID. And hotels that obtain as little as 1 to 8 new reviews earn 31% more in revenue than the ones with no new reviews, I should say. And hotels that consistently receive 25 plus fresh reviews earn 41% more in revenue. So let's look at the star ratings. And they looked at the impact of hotels' online rating based on the rating of the hotel. So hotels, as we could see, well, you don't really see it in this chart, but in their study, they continue to be more sensitive to negative ratings than any other industry, as they did a comparison to other industries' impact of negative versus positive. And hotels with a rating between 3.5 and 4.5 actually earn far more than any other group, which is a great thing to note because you're always going to have negative reviews. So it's not necessarily a bad thing because people tend to pay attention to that even more because no hotel is 100% of the time everything going well for all our guests, unfortunately, and it just gives us opportunities to change that. And then oddly enough, again, hotels with higher rating than 4.5 actually earn less. So 70% of the individuals also, they use filter ratings, and 35% of that 70% use the rating filter of 4 stars or higher. So 3.5 to 4.5 probably depends on the guest profile, what they're looking for, but in all honesty, it looks like they're looking for 4 stars or above for a property before they consider booking it. So who did the consumers tell about their good or bad stay experiences? 74% for overall bad and 76% for overall good experiences were most frequently told in person, not even online, to friends and family. It's worthy to note that the most important of their rating is based on customer service, which really is an easier fix for hotels than any other segment. Word of mouth marketing travels far. It was especially common to share experiences online after a negative run-in with the customer service than the positive. And they communicated bad experiences through social media more often than their good experiences, at 49% for bad experience and 38% for good experience. And the trend was similar for online reviews as well. As you could see, 46% for bad and 27% for good. So for the hotel to be successful, it is imperative that the hotel GM or a team member does respond back specifically for the negative reviews more than positive, more than ever, as they get shared a lot more often than the positive experience. So that your future guests, when looking at these negative reviews, have the confidence that it has received the proper attention at the property level, and that it has been corrected prior to their arrival to that hotel they're considering. So we usually look at switching up a little bit, what's going on in the market, what's being said out there in the news, the latest OTA or social media updates that are happening. So this is just Wednesday, the latest from TRIPADVISOR, introducing RECO by TRIPADVISOR. So basically, it's an online travel agent who they identified as their travel designers, that's what they're calling them, who is there to help you customize your future trip. And these agents are chosen for their expertise in a destination they recommend and keep their knowledge of the area that they represent current by traveling and experiencing it firsthand, and then sharing it with you with their recommendations. So in other words, in this example, this one gal says, hi, my fiance and I need help planning a honeymoon to Mexico. And then here is the travel designer responding back, hi, Sarah, I'd love to help. A plan to trip to Mexico, and so on and so forth. And then there's also from Renee follow-up as far as what they're recommending and so on. So that communication starts. And then, so the individual gets a lot of these communications. Then they pick and choose the travel designer they feel most comfortable with to work on their travel plans, and they pay a fee of $199. And this is what it looks like. Basically, it's soup to nuts, already pre-planned for them. This, for example, is a 7-night stay, inclusive of air, hotel accommodation, and daily pre-scheduled itinerary, and even places they recommend for dining each night. So it's basically a one-stop shop for the individual. Just pack and go is their solution, and they feel this is going to help hotels, as well as, of course, TripAdvisor, in winning back their audience. The other one that came up with, as we know, Google, they have been making a lot of changes and additions, and here's their latest, and this is in their own definition of what they came out with, which is a Hotel Insights with Google. And they stated that people all over the world are searching for a hotel like yours. With Hotel Insights, you'll discover where interest for your region is highest right now. Explore booking trends and learn about the digital tools you can use to attract new guests and grow your business. And they have 3 components to help with this, and they say that it's going to be a proven recovery, quicker recovery than your competition if you truly utilize this tool that they just came up with. First, one of them is Explore Market Insights, which helps you answer questions like, are searches for places to stay in your part of the world on the rise? Another one is like, where are guests searching from or for, and so on. And it will give you data and insight to help your marketing and communications hitting the right market and targeting the right mark. It will help you reach more guests also, and it makes it easier for people to discover you by creating a stronger digital presence. So you can learn new online marketing skills through this Hotel Insights with Google to help you reach a wider audience and drive conversations. It will also provide you with tools to turn lookers into bookers by helping improve your guest online experience. And this component will equip you with the latest guides and articles, including valuable tips on upgrading your guest journey across all your digital touch points. So currently they're piloting this in Asia Pacific, and the reason why they're doing that is because they feel China is already recovering a lot quicker, or they're ahead of the recovery than any other areas globally. So they're introducing it over there in Asia Pacific, and then they will come forward, probably follow trends, to Europe, and then make it to North America finally. So those are the 2 latest things that's in the horizon. So we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll keep reporting out to everybody as we find out more and more about these tools and benefits and features that TripAdvisor is offering, and how it could affect hotels in the long run. So that's pretty much it. So Jill, I am going to turn it back to you to just cover the key takeaways, and we'll do Q&A. Please go ahead, if you have not had a chance to post it, to go ahead and do so we could get to those questions. Jill?
Great, thanks, Rose. Always a lot of information packed in a tight space, so we like to add these key takeaways. We also encourage you to do your own research. This is one input point, a summary of data that we find available, easily accessible. So our key takeaways, we really want to start with 1, direct bookings have led the 2020 recovery, and the guest paid REVPAR year-over-year change is now plateauing, which is probably not a surprise to most people on this call. Two, OTA contribution year over year has grown more than any other channel in 2020. So travelers are 57% more likely to book via an OTA than before the pandemic. Three, OTA bookings have the highest impact on occupancy within 14 days of arrival. So utilizing OTAs with the value added offers may fill those periods as close as 7 days out. So Rose talked a bit about that. Four, discounted segment is strongest in all booking windows. Decisions on discount percentage by segment should be carefully considered as it will have the highest impact on your ADR. Five, hotels will grow revenue and stand out from competitors by responding to guest reviews. So again, not giving up on that interaction with the guest, because now more than ever, they're paying attention to what's being said and how you're handling that. And then finally, COVID-19 has redefined traveler behavior, and hotels should shift their strategies to meet the needs of individual travelers and companies. So again, number 6 is we're all kind of living through it, no matter what piece that you touch in this industry, that we're all kind of having to shift with that. So that is it for the summaries. We have Q&A here. I have one question. Someone's wanting to know their local contact for iResponse, a hotel owner, and I'm going to send you an answer to that via a private message. And do you see any other questions, Rose?
No, I don't.
Oh, wait, there's one more just came in.
Yes.
Okay, they look forward to receiving the recording. Absolutely, this is recorded, we'll share that. And as I mentioned, if you go to our website, every webinar that we've done for the last few years, the recording is on there as well. So some interesting things lately that are very timely. So Rose, I'm gonna let you have the final word.
Okay, well, thank you. Our information is on the screen. Should you wish to connect with us direct, or if you think of anything else that you might not have thought of during the webinar. And also we're repeating the same webinar this Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please do share with your peers if you want them to join us. And we love doing these webinars because we want to educate ourselves as well as you as to what's going on and what the latest is. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great afternoon.